Hello, and welcome to Character Creator with Animations, a GameMaker tutorial. Now, in this video, I'm going to show you how to make this game. Skin color, clothes on or off, clothes color, eyes color, hairstyle, and hair color. Now, and then you click done, and then you go to a different room and you can walk around. And it's animated. So, the fun thing is it's animated, which is like you can actually make an actual game with this, as opposed to my previous tutorial where it's like you can make a still image. So, but the issue is with animations that you have customized is you have to make a lot of sprites. So just for the body, I have walk down, walk left, walk right, walk up, idle down, idle left, idle right, idle up, and that's just for the body. The same thing for clothes, eyes, and the both types of hair. The eyes we don't need up because we'll just be seeing the back of the head, so we won't be seeing the eyes. But every single animation that you want to include, you need to make every direction and also one for each of these. The eyes need to have their own sprite, the hair needs to have their own sprite, the clothes needs to have their own sprite, and the body needs to have its own sprite. And if you want to add parts to the customization, then you need a sprite for every single animation with that as well. Like if you wanted to add ears, for example, you would need to have every direction of ears and then also every additional animation with ears. So there's a lot of drawing that happens. And but I'll show you the code as well. So sorry, my cat is in the background here. In the create event, you have global.creating equals true. This is just to tell the object if we're creating or not. And the way I have it work is if we're in the first room, then it's going to not do anything because it's already set to true. But if we're not in the first room, then it sets to false. So as soon as we leave the first room, then it's set to false. And that's exactly what happens. We have room 1 where we have our player, room 2 with nothing in it, because I have set this object to be persistent, which means when we switch rooms, the player is still there. Also in create event, we have idle is true, direction is 3, and speed is 5. The speed, it can be anything, whatever you need for your game. The direction is to make sure that it's on the right animation. 3 is down. 1 is up, 2 is left, and 0 is right. Idle is just whether we're moving or not. So if idle is true, then we're not moving. Then we have body color, clothes color, eyes color, and hair color. I have them all set to white as default. Then we have hairstyle, which is set to 1 as default. Clothes on is set to true as default. And then we have our options. These are the things that show up in the little menu in the character creator. This is what's actually going to be written on screen, so you need to type out whatever your options are. And then option selected is 0. That's just the option that we start on, like that it starts on. And then skin colors, you want to put in the color of each option. So we cycle through them. So we have skin selected here. Basically, when you press space while you're on skin color, you're going to start cycling through these. Every time you press space, you move on to the next one. Same thing for the clothes colors, the eye colors, and the hair colors. Meanwhile, when you're on clothes on or hairstyle, you're going to cycle through whether the clothes are on or off, and then which hairstyle it is. And what else? Let's go to the step event. In global creating equals true, first of all, we get our keys, key up, key down, and key space. If key up, option selected minus minus. If key down, option selected plus plus. Option selected, if that is greater than array length minus 1, then we do minus minus because, we don't want to go over the array length. And if it's under 0, we want to do plus plus so that it doesn't go under 0. And then changing style, if key space, and then I have a switch for option selected based on which option of these is selected. That changes what I had to type down there. That changes what we're going to be doing. So if skin color is selected, then we cycle through the skin selected. We have here that if it goes over, then we go back to 0. And then we're also setting the body color to the skin color's skin selected. That's taking that array and plugging in the number that we've cycled through to. For clothes on, we're just setting it to the opposite of clothes on so that it just cycles through on and off. The clothes color and the eye color and the hair color are all the same. For hairstyle, we just do hairstyle plus plus, and then we only have 2 hairstyles, so if it's over 2, then we set it to 1. Oops. There. And then if we're done, then done is selected, we go room to room 2. And then over down here we have else. This is just the movement logic for once we're done with the character creator. We have our keys. We have like multiplying by the speed. Over here we have if the movement is 0, if both movements are 0, then idle is true. If that is false, then idle is false. And also, based on the direction that we're moving in, it sets the direction. So if horizontal movement is greater than 0, direction is 0. And same thing for like if vertical movement is greater than 0, direction is 3. And then we just commit the movements down here. In the draw GUI, this is where we're just drawing the options that we're cycling through here, these options right here. So you just want to do a for loop and do times 20 so that we move down by 20 each time. And I mean, if you've seen the previous video in this series, you know how to do this, but you want to set it to yellow if it's currently selected. If it's not currently selected, it's just white. And the way that you do this is you use option selected for checking if we're on that one yet. And now the one I haven't shown yet is draw. This is where we have all of the drawings. So it looks like a lot because it is a lot, but really it's just the same line copy pasted a bunch of times. So if we're in idle, in sprite index, this is very important. In sprite index, we have to set it to one of the idle sprites. Doesn't really matter which one. I just did body idle down. And that sets the sprite of the object to idle down, body idle down. And that means there's only 1 frame of animation, which means it's not going to be animating because there's only 1 frame. But down here, if it's idle, if it's not idle, we want to set it to body walk down so that there's 4 frames of animation, which means it's actually going to animate. The image index is actually going to be changing, so these are all going to animate, basically. Because we're not switching the sprite index for every one of these, we're just drawing a sprite, and we're using the image index that comes from what the sprite is currently set to in order to change how it's animating. I hope that makes sense. But anyways, I do a switch based on direction. So let's just use case 0, which is going right. So first we draw the body, which is just this line is the one that I copy pasted a bunch of times and I slightly changed it. The color is going to be body color, and the sprite is going to be sprite body idle right. And then if clothes on, then we draw the clothes, which is the same, but it's clothes idle right, and then clothes color. And then we want to do the eyes idle right, eyes color, and then switch the hairstyle, a switch statement with the hairstyle. Case 1, we draw the first hairstyle. Case 2, we draw the second hairstyle. And then we have other cases for the different directions, which is all the same, except we've changed it to up, and then to left, and then to down. And then over here, if it's not idle, it's the same thing. Case 0 is going to the right, except it's walking. We're walking in this one. And so there are other ways to do this, of course. Like, you could have all these image indexes set to 0, and then just always have the sprite on the walking animation. But I just changed the sprite based on which one we're doing. So I think I've covered most of what we have going on here. I'm going to show a few of these sprites as well. This one is idle, so there's only one frame. This one is walk, so we have the walking. And then these are all so you see, you got the eyes, they move slightly because the head bobs up and down. And you want to have these pictures be like only that thing, like only the eyes for eyes, only the clothes for clothes. I included the outline as well, just because that doesn't change, so it doesn't matter. And then for the hair, it's just the hair. Hair 2, it's just the hair. And the hair is being drawn on top, so it doesn't matter that there's an outline for the other things. If you draw them in the wrong order, you're going to get layering issues, and that's no good. So here's what I've done, basically. Skin color, you can set that to whatever you want. Clothes on or off. Let's have them off for now. Clothes color, oh, I guess if we want to show off the clothes color, we need to have them on. Eyes color can change a bunch to whatever you want. Hairstyle, hair color. I do know that this hairstyle is, the second hairstyle is covering the eyes, but it's not covering the eyes in every animation. And that doesn't really matter because this is just a tutorial. So when you're drawing your own sprites, you might want to look out for things like this, like, is the hair covering the eyes? But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Shout out to the person who requested this video. I did not write down your name. I'm sorry. I'll shout you out in the description. But thanks for requesting this video, and I hope you liked it. Sorry I didn't write a script for what to say. I figured I'd just explain it. I made this today. It is not a variation of the previous one because I could not find that file, so I just made a new one. But thank you so much. Bye.